Right, let's have a fun evening, champs.
Let's do it.
Let's make some magic.
Ooh.
We'll save it to London, Milo.
In person, Milo. Save it till then.
In person magic.
It's only 10 weeks away, you know.
Do you want to shut up?
It's 10 weeks on Friday, Go Fest.
Agreed.
This week, our spirits are rising as the season of Rising Heroes finally goes away. Are we loving or loathing the new Shadow Raids update? And how many Ians did we catch on Com Day? Welcome to the 120th show of the Incensed podcast. The quartet of the casual, the not-so-rural, the great white shark, and Slothman, myself, are here and hopefully to entertain in some respect. Boys, how are we doing?
We are good.
Oh, good. I must say, actually, I know we'll check it right later, but I caught a lot of Coopses as well on Sunday.
Now, that could be any orange Pokemon.
Any ginger Pokemon. I thought it was Yungoos. Was the Coops with the hair.
The angry expression.
Coops doesn't look like Donald Trump.
I never said that.
Okay. Are we starting already? Welcome back. Here we go.
I caught more Coopses than Ians over the weekend, and I was very rural for it. So, yeah. There it is. There it is. Milo, you threw me off guard because for the listeners, it's unscripted, but we sometimes have a little intro shared with us before, and you threw me off guard completely. 100% different. I was getting ready to the not-so-rural trainer intro, and you caught me off guard, Milo.
I like to surprise, I guess.
Reprove.
Surprises could be good fun.
Well, I hope you've got some surprises tonight because we've got no content.
Look, I don't like to disappoint, so hopefully I can hold that promise true.
Ian, have you seen the show notes? We're playing not 1, but 11 games.
We're playing every game we've done.
Every game we've ever produced is featured tonight. So,
Actually, we should have... That'd be a good episode. We could do a game night.
Yeah.
Game
12
night.
games of Christmas. That could be the Christmas one, couldn't
The
it?
Christmas show
12
this year
games
is just all
There's
games.
an idea. Jot that down.
See, live brainstorming.
Milo, how are you?
I'm good. My show's already gone off the rails, but we love it. It's great.
Note made.
Milo, remember, this is a podcast idea, the game thing, not a video idea, right? No one wants to see a 55-minute video of all our games.
If I get the video out before this episode goes live, no one will think it was your idea. But, boys, we'd better rocket through the general formalities of our show. So, listeners, get ready to...
Pop your incenses, champions. Let's go.
Rumble!
If you want to. What Pokemon would that be? Take a pick.
Just thinking PJ and Duncan. And there's a quote that's going to be missed on a lot of people.
Yeah, I didn't.
What?
Milo, did you get that? Yeah, no, me neither.
Biker Grove. They were in Biker Grove.
Yeah, but these
That
two are
doesn't help.
fetuses. Yeah, these two are fetuses. They won't know
Oh,
what
they are
Biker Grove
fetuses,
was.
yeah. Milo's a baby fetus and Coops is a slightly less smaller fetus.
I might have some more digs on old technology coming up soon. So we'd love to hear if you get something while listening to the show, perhaps a Shadow Shiny Mewtwo, since it is dropping on that weekend. Please let us know using our famous hashtag, Shinish of the Week.
Hashtag.
Clarify the spelling.
I'm
trying to switch it up.
No, wait, you be quiet. I'm so glad, Ian, that you called him up on that because I was about to be like,
Yeah.
I could feel myself fudging it, and I'm like, I'm just going to go with it anyway, sod it. So the hashtag you need is SHINISOFTHEWEEK. Use that so it's easier for us to find your awesome catches while listening to the show. There's a variety of ways you can reach out to us. Twitter, Instagram, at Incensed Podcast, our Campfire server, WhatsApp. Ian will probably read the number out at some point in the show. And if you want to use technology created by the likes of Fred Flintstone, you could utilize email incensedpodcast@yahoo.com.
But if you really want to do Fred Flintstone, get a piece of stone and chisel it out
Yeah.
and then post it to us.
Send us a tablet, not like an iPad. Send us a proper tablet, a stone tablet. That'd be great.
Address the tablets to Walpole Park, Ealing.
Yeah.
Then it will be a Pokestop.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Get a Pokestop. That'd be brilliant.
He now lives on 8 stops, not 7.
Put it in front of the driveway. That'd be brilliant.
What's this blue plaque on Milo's house?
Yeah.
All I'm hoping is that little dig at the email means that more people are going to utilize it. Was it last week, 2 weeks ago?
Last week.
But of course, Zoe, it's your time.
Just tell me about you, mate. Just what's going on?
Also, listening back to last week, I felt a bit bad that Ian couldn't actually answer Coops'
It
question.
was a loaded question. Come on, throw me a bone. It was a loaded question.
We're switching the theme of what could potentially hurt you. So, what is your worst/scariest experience in a car? If you don't drive, passenger works just as well. I want Ian to go first since he went first last week.
You know, I'm actually going to give 2 since I missed that last week.
Oh, of course you are. I don't even have an answer, funnily enough, so I can't give 2.
Coops. The only reason he's doing this is statistically 1 in 4 people have not had a near-death experience with an animal. So,
That is facts. That is facts.
Actually, to be fair, there was only really you, Mark, that had a near-death experience with an animal. Coops was looking at a pretty turtle, and Milo got bitten by a bug.
Yeah.
Right, come on then. Let's hear your answers.
Right, okay, so I'm going to go through 2. So the first one was I was probably about 18 or 19 and not been driving for very long. Got my first car, went to see a friend. I picked her up. It had been snowing. The ground was very icy. And I was actually, believe it or not, driving to watch a football game.
Commiserations.
Oh.
breaking news.
I wasn't actually wanting to watch the football, but I was going with her. So anyway, so I was driving down this road, which was actually quite icy, and we've all been in that position where even if the road conditions aren't perfect, you drive a little bit faster than you probably should do. Anyway, I went over a bump in the road, which was actually quite a severe bump. Did a full-on Dukes of Hazzard. All four wheels left the ground, landed, hit a patch of black ice, spun the car literally 360 degrees into a hedge, and wrote the car off. Yes.
Was it the Gimpy hedge?
No, because I was in England, not in the...
Could have crashed into that bloke's garden.
It was just a
yeah,
hedge.
exactly.
But yeah, so that was one of probably the worst accidents I've had. But the actual...
that's such a good story. Yeah, tell us another one. See how
The
supportive I'm being of
scariest
this question,
actually.
Ian. See
I'm
how
ready.
supportive I'm being. Remember you last week? Anyway,
He's thinking of the Twitter characters, Coops. Give him a break.
Yeah, I'm making this hard for Mark to type up. So the actual probably the scariest experience was... Get ready with the beep beep beeps. I was in Germany a few years ago with my girlfriend.
Bochum.
It was between Christmas and New Year. We were actually driving from Dusseldorf Airport back to Remscheid. We was on the Autobahn, snowing, bad weather. We're doing an appropriate speed. We're not really going too stupid because actually German people can drive and they don't generally drive like idiots like we do in the UK. Anyway, the next thing I saw was a car hurtling towards us that had again hit a snow patch, spinning at us and missed us by 2 inches. And had we been going any faster than we were, it would have literally hit us. And I probably wouldn't be doing this podcast now.
Jeez.
Yeah, I wasn't actually driving. My girlfriend was driving, and it wasn't a pretty experience. So there's 2, but almost being hit by a spinning car on a snowy Autobahn is probably my scariest experience.
That is quite terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the double story.
So, Coops, since you just gave me a little bit of a dig,
No,
next, man.
In a vehicle.
There's no digging, just driving here today. When I saw this question from Pogo Milo UK, I didn't actually have an answer. But because I'm a nice guy, instead of sort of, live on recording, pulling a bit of a straw
I went out
and
and had a dangerous experience in a car deliberately.
Today.
And saying, I don't like the question, I don't have an answer. I thought I'd participate, right, Ian? Because that's what we do here. We participate.
Your question
in
last
the
week
polls.
was near-death experience with animal. Didn't have one. I could have made something up, but I don't BS people.
So, okay, fine. I don't have an answer. Moving on.
There we go.
No, so I'll give you like a recent-ish one over the last few years, and a bit like Ian when he answered the animal question. I actually have never, touch wood, my desk is wood, so I'm touching that. I've never had a near-death experience in any sort of public transport. I've been very, very lucky because you do see some horrendous fatal accidents on the news and people talk about it. I'm so very, very, very grateful. Gonna keep touching wood. But when I was learning how to drive, I had huge anxiety behind the wheel, like massive anxiety. And it's hard to speak to people about it because when you drive and when you're a confident driver and you meet someone that's very anxious, can't sleep the night before a driving lesson, for example, when they first start driving, when they get behind the wheel, they start to sweat, they start to have like a little mini panic attack. You don't really understand it because you're like, oh, what's the big deal? So it'll be a bit like me, Milo, me talking to you about driving. You wouldn't get it because you're a very confident driver, right?
Yeah,
You love driving.
I guess, yeah.
Anyway, probably 10 hours in, and we're at this huge junction. And, certain drivers I'm going to say it, are stupid. Absolutely drive
Especially
like
when you're
absolute, drive like absolute lunatics.
And if you have a learner plate on your car, you automatically become a target as well.
Worse are the P plates.
Oh, yeah.
Well, P stands for anyway, but moving on. Carry on with the story.
I thought you were going to say L stands for loser. But anyway, I was coming out of this junction and the instructor was like, right, yeah, like Coops, go, turn left, like green light, everything. This car came from like the opposite side, but was turning round, exiting basically on the junction that I was getting off. I swear to God, a little bit like you, Ian, like to the point where the driving instructor, and they have to like hold you back, like stop the car.
Arm out, yeah.
Yeah, to do all of that. And this car, when I say it was going so fast to the point where the car's, like you said, Ian, what did you say? 2 inches, 3 inches?
2 inches at most, yeah.
Yeah, like the same thing. And you had that moment of where you're like, literally it goes past, you brake, and you look at each other and it's like, are you all right? And it's like, yeah. And like you, mate, I genuinely was, half a metre off dying. Genuinely, it was going that fast. So, that would be sort of, sorry, Mark, I don't know how you wrap that up, but that'll be my sort of experience.
I've decided that this poll isn't going to work tonight.
The answer is, I nearly had an accident.
Yeah. I think it's going to have to be a yes or no.
Marky, what you could do, you could say, had an accident as a driver, had an accident as a passenger, and then the next two could just be snakes and then more snakes. If you wanted to.
Had an accident because a snake was driving.
Had an accident because there was a snake in the car.
Snakes in a car. Samuel L. Jackson stars in Snakes in a Car on the Autobahn.
Snakes in a Ostrom Maestro. Something
Gang
like
snakes.
that.
So come on then, Marky. What's yours, bro? What's your story if you have one?
I've got a few stories, and I'm not
We've
going
got
to
the
mention
time, Mark. Don't worry.
It's great. Love it.
I've been when I was younger. I've auto glided, surface water, aquaplanes.
Aquaplanes, yeah.
Aquaplane.
That's freaky.
That's
fun.
Freaky. Went into a ditch, but I was all right. Fortunately, the car was all right, believe it or not. I was a passenger on the motorway driving up to Leeds with my dad, and a tyre came off a vehicle ahead and it bounced over the car. Not close enough to go.
Wow.
That hit us, but it was
Close.
over, like, and we saw it going into the side.
Like a scene out of Fast and Furious.
Yeah, Faster and Furious.
Fast and Furious from Swindon.
Fast 10.
My scariest experience on public transport happened when I was 15, and I'm going to give you a bit of a backstory.
Hang on. Wait, 1 second, Mark.
Any excuse.
I was 15. Hugh Grant was starring in an amazing film at the time, British comedy, Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Oh my God.
Great
Even I know what that is. Yeah.
96.
It's as old as me, basically.
And I was out of school, and we went to Solihull.
94.
94.
Solihull.
Older
I was
than me.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
to go and watch the film. Anyway, long story short, one of my friends struggled to get in to see the film. Embarrassing when it's a 15 certificate, which it was at the time from memory. But anyway, we all got in eventually and we saw the film. When we got back on the same bus. Well, not the same bus, but on the same route.
Oh, you've
on
told us
another
this
bus.
story before.
I have told you this story before. This
You
is
got
why
shot at.
I did get shot at.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, but for people on the podcast, they might not have heard this. I haven't shared this on the podcast.
No, this was a long time ago. This is in the
Yeah, it was in one of
podcast
the early
infancy.
shows. Yeah.
Oh, was it? Oh, I can't use the answer then.
No,
can I?
you
Well,
can.
you-
Enough time has
You
passed.
can. Use it again.
Enough time has passed.
Listeners, go back and try and find this question in the old shows.
But anyway, we were on the top deck of the bus, and the bus pulled up outside this little shopping, like you get like a couple of shops next to each other.
Strip mall.
A high street.
No, it's like you get like a fish and chip shop, and you get a newsagent. You know, where you get like just two of them together. There's loads of housing behind it.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, I'm sat there. I go down to pick my bag up, and as I bend down, the whole window by where my head was shatters instantly. All this glass falls on me from behind. You can hear screaming on the top of the bus. What the hell's just happened? And someone's fired I can imagine it would be a pellet gun or something like that. You don't know what was fired through.
We'll insert the
It could
shots
be,
fired sound effect here.
Yeah.
Mark, for the podcast, just say a bazooka. Just say something.
Bazooka, yeah.
RPG.
Just sniper. Just say it for the podcast.
Might have been a sniper. Imagine that. If Ian nearly wasn't here for the podcast, if I hadn't have bent down at that time to pick something off the floor, I most certainly probably wouldn't be here doing this because, as the police said, at the time, if that had hit me where it was and the angle it probably would have hit me in the head. It was right there. So it's one of those things you still don't think it happened. Like I still think, did that really happen? My mates always go, yeah, that happened, Mark. That did happen.
It's freaky.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mark, I want to just take the time now to apologise for that. Sorry about that, mate. Didn't mean to.
That's all right. Were you in Croydon at the time, Mark?
Solihull is the Croydon of the West Midlands here, apparently.
That's why Coop's got it mixed up.
Yeah.
It's not.
I suppose we need to chase Amazon because GoFest is coming up in 10 weeks. We need those stab vests.
Saying that, Marky, when you were 15, I don't even think I was on the planet, so it definitely wasn't me.
Definitely wasn't. And I'd like to apologise to people from Solihull. You were definitely not the Croydon of the West Midlands. Okay?
We keep referring to bad places.
Coops went back in time to kill Mark, so he didn't have to do the podcast, but missed.
It's more like Notting Hill. Anyway, if we've got anyone listening to Solihull, I do apologise. Okay.
Notting Hill, another Hugh Grant movie.
Another Hugh Grant movie. Milo, what about yourself?
This was quite interesting because this very much came to my mind the moment we finished recording last week. It's like, I may not have had a near-death sort of experience with an animal, but definitely have had one while behind the wheel. We've all given a little bit of multiple kind of stories. I'll say the kind of the most humorous one that could have gone very badly. I was on the M4 going from London to Bristol, and somebody's massive stepladder fell off the top of their van on the motorway, and that was a break and avoid scenario.
Oh, that could have decapitated you if you'd gone through your window.
It could have been. Thankfully, it hit the floor, but it still would have taken your
Final
chassis
Destination.
away. Oh, yeah, proper Final Destination style thing.
Final Destination 10.
That was now up to.
Can I just say they are the worst films ever, aren't they?
The first one was actually really good.
Yeah, I agree.
The one that was very unnerving, and it was sort of a bit like Mark's, you think, like, did that actually happen? Was I was driving very, very late at like 2 a.m. from London to Bristol to go over to see my family. No cars on the road. M4's not lit for the vast majority of it. Got a middle lane sitter in the middle lane. I'm like, I'll go to do an overtake. And then as I'm overtaking, I look over and see there's a car in the barrier on the left-hand side. That's interesting, sort of having a look. And I swear, as I looked back round, I suddenly saw clearly the other vehicle that had been involved in this accident facing me, no lights on in the outside lane. And I only saw it like out of my side window and mirror. I have no idea how I missed it, but that would have been 70-mile-an-hour impact, bang, into a stationary vehicle. Ooh. And it's sort of that thing, like, what the hell was going on? You think, like, you should have hazards on, you should have something on there. I don't know how to this day I actually managed to make the gap, because it must have been like that, sort of missing it by a hair.
2 inches?
2 inches, possibly. 2-inch distance.
Are we trying to make this question a title of the show?
Missed it by 2 inches.
The police said it was 2 inches above my head, Ian, so I might have been all right. I don't know.
The bullet trajectory went in this way. But yeah, that was very, very freaky. And I hope after this we can move on from well, actually, maybe Ian could think of what's the worst experience you've had with something else. And we'll keep this trend going.
Yeah, we'll see what we can come up with for next
Ian's
week.
will just be, what's your nearest death experience? With no animals, no cars, it will just be...
So just to clarify then, on the poll tonight, nearly hit by a car, nearly hit by a car, nearly shot, nearly hit by a car. Is that what we're going with then?
Milo was nearly hit a car.
nearly hit a car. A stationary car.
Well, yeah.
Stationary, because
that's the thing, is it needs some context. You don't typically hit. There's nobody parks on the M4.
Almost hit a car on motorway, yeah?
Yeah. I guess so.
Ask for context. We put that in it. I'll be like managing
just
that.
Just put listen on Sunday for context.
Want context? Not getting any.
Yeah, exactly. Let's put Mark's poll as a tag. And then I'll jump into
put Pokémon GO as a tag.
Right, that is on. I don't know where this is going to go.
Let's
the comments
see. It's going to be great. I want to see the comments.
It's all about the comments, isn't it? Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. It's all about the comments.
But the foxes have moved out of my shed at long last. They're no longer keeping me awake at night, which is great. But Marky boy, let's talk about Foxy Comday.
You know,
that wasn't even worthy.
It's a funny one because here in the UK we have a thing called Foxy Bingo, and as you said, I just sent images of that.
That's so true. Bloody Foxy Bingo. Great adverts.
They are. Or maybe we should have slipped that into the Comday vlog. You know, we had 888 Casino. Maybe we go Foxy Bingo. That would have been
Foxy Bingo would have worked. Actually, we'll play Foxy Bingo later in this discussion.
FoxyBingo.com.
Yeah,
sponsored.
Yeah. Disclaimer, this podcast is not sponsored by any gambling company. Anyway, we had Fennekin Community Day.
Mark, you're cracking me up tonight, bro. You've got too much energy.
We had on Sunday, unfortunately, between 2 and 5 p.m, we had...
There's going to be a lot more Sunday ones coming up in the next season.
Oh, no! It's not good. So basically, we had Fennekin Community Day. We will talk about our challenges later. If you didn't know already, we were on GoCast last week as you listen to this. So listen to their episode. We took control of it. No joke. So we all set ourselves goals and targets, but we will do that at the end of this little discussion. But yeah, I'm going to start, boys, and show you how I played my com day. And then it'd be nice for us all to give a little flavour. So I went back mega rurally. I thought it was Fox Wildlife Spawn. No, I just couldn't be bothered to drive anyone on Sunday, really. It was far to do it. I had grand ideas with Ian. I went, you know what, we go to Leicestershire, county of the fox here in the UK, didn't I? And I said, I've got an idea. And then we went, Sunday. I went, no.
We should have tried to go to as many pubs with the word fox in its name.
Oh, that would have been good.
Not play content, not play Pokemon Go, just
not
drink.
Playing Pokemon Go. Catch a shiny at every pub.
I would have been content with that content.
Yeah. It was just nice to go back to where I used to live in the country, joke about the seasons changing. And we're pleased that this season's ending in Pokemon Go, but the seasons
very much so
are lovely this time of year. And as we're into spring now, certainly in an area where there's a lot of farmland and that, it was just lovely to see all the fields like with all the colour in it, crops growing, yellow oil seed rape everywhere and all that. And I was out there just playing it completely on my own in the country, and it was a great experience. I don't know why it wasn't a sunny weather boost, so it was windy for the whole thing. I don't really get that. I had fun, and I broke a rule record as well on my own. Obviously, I did it for a 3-hour one, that because Tepic was 6, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Mm-hmm. So I was happy that I broke a record. So without revealing anything at the moment, how did you boys do? Coops, do you want to go next year? Your challenge was to open the game, I think.
The Fennekin man himself.
So this is the thing, right? I kind of have to...
You look a bit like a Fennekin, actually, Coops.
Okay, enough. I kind of have to say my goal, otherwise it kind of makes...
Fair point. Okay, well, my goal, I'll go back then and lead it into you. So we all explain our goal before we reveal it then, because that makes more sense. Cool. So without revealing anything, my goal was to get more shiners than Milo, and we'll pick that up afterwards. So Coops, what about you, mate? How was your Fennekin Com Day?
Yep, so my goal from GoCast episode last week was to actually play Fennekin Com Day, and boys, you'll be happy to know I played Fennekin Com Day.
Oh my gosh! Well, Coops wins.
I actually did. Obviously, wasn't about the shiny chase, nothing like that. I just wanted to play, get enough XL. So yeah, I got like 400 XL. Really bad though for me. I forgot to Mega Evolve straight away, but I got
just
it.
Like you forgot to get Sigalith.
Correct. Ding, ding, ding. Where's my sound effect in? But yeah, so like I said, turned it on. Probably in the 3 hours, probably played it maybe like an hour 15, hour and 20. The rest was kind of like on and off, sort of, you know, when I could, when the missus would let me. But yeah, cool. I think I got like...
I need that whip sound effect.
Where's that new sound effect you have?
I kind of, you lot are killing me. I got about 14, 15 shiny Fennekin, as I said, about 400 XL, which, sorry, Ian, with your 500 odd XL, was very impressed with your vlog.
Oh my God, he's got it.
He's got it. But yeah, no, like it was fun, man. Obviously, evolved, I didn't have a hundo, which was a shame. Evolved for Great League and Ultra League. Obviously, watch Home Slice Henry's video.
There it is.
Just sort of a normal com day, really. Nothing to report from my end. Just looking forward to Axu, fingers crossed, next month.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. What about you, Ian?
Shiny Fennekin.
Me, the shiny Fennekin, yes. I set a target on GoCast of getting 18 shinies, which was on the conservative side, but actually I'm quite glad that I did based on my initial experience. I went to a National Trust property to play it, and the signal was sketchy in excess of Chester levels. For the first hour, I pretty much had signal for maybe all of 10 minutes. So very quickly bailed on that, jumped in the car and actually went to the local park. The experience was a lot better. Yeah, had a couple of people turn up, spent the day with some friends. Dom, one of our patrons, turned up, and it was actually a very enjoyable afternoon. And yes, Coops, you're right. I actually didn't do too badly on the XL.
He remembered to Mega Evolve.
I did. How about you, Whitfield? How was your deleting challenge, transfer challenge?
It was rather jolly fun, actually. Very good fun.
You're doing it wrong then, because normally you're meant to sweat on these challenges.
Well, I played it with a different twist because I did it for Starly. It was like me guessing and choosing. I did really, really badly. So my challenge actually on GoCast was to keep 15 shinies at the end of the day. And I was basically getting people who were in the squad for the day to choose and pick if it was going to be a higher or lower CP, the next shiny than this previous shiny. And then the best moment by far and away was I got a level 1 shiny, 13 CP. I asked Incensed podcast patron Dwayne Del Hazard to guess, so he obviously goes higher. The next shiny was 12 CP.
Funny that was.
What are the odds of that happening? You have to be so unlucky.
And that just proves what a nice guy Dwayne is, because most of us would have just gone lower so you'd transfer.
He would have won then.
But in this case, you would have won it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were actually genuine, like playing it quite nicely. So that's how I ended up not doing too badly and finding it quite fun. But there were some very funny moments in it. It was quite a relaxed com day. Fennekin up to whatever it's called, Delphox, not overly useful as a raid attacker or anything, so not overly concerned about it. Just wanted to see how many shinies you could get. It was triple dust, which is very much my favourite bonus. Got about 400k or so XL, about 1100 or so with a tier 3 mega. Much like Mark, very confused why it wasn't sunny weather. It was beautiful, clear, fantastic sunshine here in West London, and it was windy basically the entire day. But should we have a little game of Foxy Bingo?
Flex it up, flex it up.
My challenge was to beat Milo's total shinies, and I wasn't letting any of mine go. So when I finished recording my little vlog to celebrate it, I was sat on 26 shinies, Milo. But I did catch some more afterwards in the last 10 minutes, and I finished on, it was 28, which for me is a record.
That's still
Good 3-hour rural day.
Good.
I think my best before was like 20 or 21. I was very happy with that, mate.
Well, that's if you think back to Tepig, you got 50 in a 6-hour com day.
Yeah.
So actually, solid.
So go on then, Milo.
Well, Mark said he wanted to beat me, and it was very close. End of the day, keeping 30 shinies.
Oh.
Very close.
Well done.
Very close indeed.
Can I just throw something in though, Milo, before we move on quickly? I did jokingly say on GoCast that I said, well, I would do something to like get 2 Keckley on this week, and that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
And I did get 2 Keckley on this week, but it doesn't count. It does not count, unfortunately.
What about you, Shiny
Shiny
Fox?
Yes.
Shiny Fox.
So I beat my target, but failed against both of you. Now, I'm not making excuses, but it was a very casual community day, and just under a third of it was with no signal, but ended on 25, as you will have seen from my video. So
You beat 18?
let's be honest. How many of these things do you actually need?
3.
Exactly.
3.
Correct answer,
3.
Coops.
One good one.
Thank you.
What about you, Coops? You wanted to basically play the com day and get the family done if you could.
Oh, yeah. I said earlier I've got about 13, 14, I think, about that. Yeah.
Smashing.
Completed it.
Completed, mate.
Completed it, mate.
Completed it, mate.
And what Coops didn't tell you is he actually played it at Brockwell Park.
Scooping out.
I didn't.
Where was the park in Liverpool called where we went to
Sefton.
for all that? Sefton. So
Sefton,
I do want to
that's
say this, and sorry, I wanted to reference this a couple of weeks ago when it was relevant. It was probably a week ago. We had Eurovision Song Contest, and it was held up in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And they were doing the intro videos for each act, and one of them had Sefton Park on it.
No,
I was going,
yeah.
Sefton Park!
You're so right, because they had something in Ukraine, then something similar in the UK, and then something the same from the country of where the singer was from.
That was
It's
it.
like a trio thing.
Right.
I think we're going to hand it over to our very own Silver Fox for a game that he adores and created, I think.
Yeah, he's going to. I was literally about to say created.
So welcome back to the Generation Game. This is a game where we can actually pad for time. So
Good stuff.
you will get the hour-long episode, Milo. Do not worry, my friend.
Don't promise to me, promise to the listeners.
What would Chris say? Dear listener.
You shall get your 60-minute show.
Okay, so let's get into the Generation Game. Rules are very simple. I'm just going to give you a Pokemon. You're just going to tell me what generation it's from. We're going to start nice and simple, so hopefully everyone will get through the first round or two. So the order we're going to go in tonight is we're going to go Coops, We're going to go Whitfield, and then we're going to go Barrow. There was actually a TV show in the night called Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and we are hanging with Mr. Cooper tonight. So, anyway, Coops.
Okay.
Your starting Pokemon, which generation is Mareep from?
It's my current nest.
Oh no, this is so embarrassing. Okay, so initially, wait, because I'm doing a Coops answer. I was going to say Johto, but I think it might be it's between number 2 or 3. Oh, this is so embarrassing if I get this wrong. I feel like Ampharos is in the same generation as like Magmortar and Electivire, I think, when all those got, so that's Gen. Okay, my answer is oh no, I've got this wrong. Generation 3, is that right? Oh no!
Johto!
Is it Johto?
To be fair to him, he didn't do Johto at all. So
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
And as he told us the other week, he did play. You did play Gen 2, didn't you?
No, but can you just, is Electivire, is that Gen 3?
that's Gen 4.
Gen 4.
No, that's 4. Oh no!
Stop now. We'll call this out. Save it.
Mark and I will get our next answers deliberately wrong so we can keep going.
Yeah.
No, that is embarrassing. Right, go on, boys.
Whitfield,
Yes.
your starting Pokemon is Dustox.
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 Yeah. That's one of the evolutions, I think, of Wurmple.
I thought it was Shuppet's evolution, isn't it?
That's Dusclops.
Oh right.
That's why I had to double check. I was like, wait, no, it's not the ghost one. I have a feeling, is it Generation 3?
Oh,
It's a little bit sweaty.
Save.
Arms are sweaty.
Knees weak,
arms are
Wurmple's heavy.
Nice.
Okay.
Snoocher.
Masterful 27.
Ian Waterfall.
Tell me what generation is Politoed from?
Polytoad.
Yes.
I'm trying to get some runtime here.
We'll edit the gap down.
Johto.
It is.
Yes.
Barrow and Whitfield through to round 2. And what I'm actually doing on this one is I'm just scrolling randomly.
Watch him get to Electivire.
Okay,
Yeah, you
so
Sinnoh.
Mewtwo.
Whitfield.
Yes.
What generation is Hippodon from?
Ooh, power. Okay. It's either 4 or 5. I'm going to go with Sinnoh Gen 4. I'm leaving that click in.
Absolutely misclick. Yes, it is. It's Gen 4 Sinnoh. So to stay in the running, Masterful 27. What generation is Lipard from?
Where?
Lipard.
What? Oh, Lipard. Oh, the evolved.
It's the evolved form of Shuckle.
You're a joker, you are. Is it the evolved form of the cat? What's the cat? It's the cat one, isn't it?
Purloin.
Purloin, isn't it? Oh, I don't know. Gen 5?
Yay! What a guess.
That was a guess.
Whitfield. Round 3. What generation is Drudigon from?
Oh, your fabled Drudigon. See, I don't know.
Guess between 1 and 9.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no way, Sherlock.
It's somewhere between 1 and 9.
Yeah. This is one of those Pokemon that it arrived in the game and I completely missed what was released around it.
It's between 1 and 9.
I'm going to pick Generation 24. I want to say it's Gen 5?
It's between 1 and 9. 5 is between 1 and 9.
Oh,
Thank
Ian!
God for that.
Giving him the answer.
Sanctimonious.
Barstel.
Okay, Masterful 27. What generation is Bouffalont from?
Oh, I have no idea, Ian.
New York.
New York.
New York, yeah. I'm only guessing because Coops makes me laugh whenever he pronounces it. So I'm guessing, is it in Unova or the Unova? That's it.
Is Gen 5. GG's indeed. So, let's see if we can get a little bit more serious.
Wishy-washy.
Masterful. I know it's Milo, isn't it? Barrow. No, it's... oh, God. Whitfield. I'm broken. What generation is Ribombi from?
Oh,
Yeah, but you say, think about it logistically.
evolution of Cutiefly.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
Oh,
I believe that's a
didn't even know
Gen.
that.
I believe that's a
didn't know
Gen
that.
7.
Lola, it is.
released.
I didn't know
released
that was
recently.
what it was.
Yeah.
I was like, Coop's going, even though it hasn't been released in the game, just let's think about it logically. And then you went, Evolved Cutifly. I went, oh, I didn't even know that.
I was going to say, Mark, it's either going to be 8 or 9. Just guess one. Yeah.
So Barrow, to stay in the running. Coops used to like PvP, so he might know this answer.
Ooh.
What generation is Dubwool from?
Clarkson's Farm Season 1.
Hello, sheeps.
I don't know, Ian. I'm going to go Univer game. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, it's Galar.
Oh!
You flaming Galar.
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 So, well done, Whitfield. You are tonight's winner of the Generation game.
That was a
Well done,
rather
Milo.
sweaty call between Mark and myself. That was a good game.
I was wondering how far I was going to push it. I was going to have to start going into Gen 9 if we wasn't careful.
Gen 8's dangerous enough for us at this point.
Yes.
That's about all we can handle.
I would actually like to say congratulations, lads, and not for participating in the longest game that we've ever done in the history of Incensed podcast. But I'd like to say a massive congratulations to all of you because you've all made it through the season of Rising Heroes.
Yeah!
You mean we've suffered?
Now, I know that last week we briefly had a bit of banter. We joked about how bad it's sort of been. And I think when this episode drops, I've got a feeling it ends in literally 48 hours, 72 hours after the episode goes live, which is amazing news. And I'm actually looking forward to next week's show because it's going to be news heavy. Hopefully June's Community Day is announced. Next week is going to be a great, great show. But for now, boys, I wanted just a little chat. What do we honestly feel about this season? Are we happy to put it behind us? Are we happy to never talk about it after this conversation ever again?
Yes.
Has it been rising your temperature with how annoyed it's made you? We know there's also been a huge rise of prices with the remote razor. What does everybody think? Because for me, not to repeat myself and go on like I normally do, but I've really not played the game much, just sort of generally this year. As soon as we said goodbye to Giratina Origin, that was kind of the last time. Sorry. God.
Do it again. And go.
Giratina O. You're just going to randomly add that in. Genuinely think it's been really bad. And even the end, this Shadow Mewtwo thing that you can't remote in, you can't use your 5 a day, the IV floor, it's all really killed it for me. And so it sort of wrapped up a bad season with really, God, it sounds awful because it's Shadow Mewtwo, it's Shadow Raids, but with a really weak ending, which could have gone out with a huge bang and we would have forgotten how bad it was. But I still don't think they've got this right either. What are our expectations of the next season? What are our thoughts of this one?
I would admit that the last 3 months has put me off the game quite a bit. Certainly in terms of events, I used to have the motivation, and I know we don't go into our specific content, but I had the want to play new events during the weeks whilst I'd be at work, and I'd have the want to be heavily involved in it and the want to share those experiences. And this last 3 months, that has just vanished because I felt like that for the last 3 months. I didn't even know events were starting when I've put the game on.
And that's worrying, isn't it, since we did the news?
Yeah, I'm not holding back, by the way. I'm being genuinely honest. It's been lackluster. I thought Alola was awful. I think this season probably just about edged Alola. So Alola, you will never be mentioned again. This will be the new awful season.
This is the new baseline.
This is the new baseline, yeah.
This is the 666.
This is This is the 666. However, the last 3 months have given me a want to play the classic events more so. And I felt more motivated to go and do something with them. So I've had the best hat trick of community days in the last 3 months. I've had a great one in Ealing. I've had a great one in MK. I had a great one, as pen pal Simon said, getting my inner Theresa May and running around the fields. Rural style. So it has given me a new fond love for the community today. And one of them was a Crusade Classic, to be fair. So
True, yeah.
I have really enjoyed those events. And I think that shows I do obviously still like the game, but the events have become more of it's almost just like a narrative that I've lost. What's the word I want to use? I've just lost
motivation.
Awareness of motivation of, yeah, exactly, Ian. But it is forgiven. because we are getting into the season of events. And I think this was probably deliberate to get us into that mindset, because we've had a Safari Zone this time last year. No Safari Zones yet this year.
True.
No one really knows what's going on with Safari Zones.
Yeah. A week ago last year. Yeah.
And we're getting to Go Fest soon, which is going to be amazing. I agree with Coops, his little intro there, because I haven't quite got the community right where I live, because I've moved. I will sadly not be able to partake in this Mewtwo Shadow one, even if I'd wanted to, without travelling somewhere to play it. And again, I haven't got an issue with travelling to events, but for a play, you shouldn't have to travel for every event to try and get it to play that far, because it takes over everything. But I also agree that the game shouldn't bend around me, and maybe in the future, that will change. Bit of a sad way to do it, but it's happening, boys, isn't it? It's happening. It's in person now, isn't it? It's all in person. Yeah, a mixed one. Had more fun with the in-person events, but certainly lost interest in the normal week-long events, Coops. So it's been a mixed bag for me, mate. What about you, Mr. Waterfall?
Well, this season's been atrocious. Let's not sugarcoat it. It has been terrible. It started with the Let's Go research, the season-long special research, which had 6 stages, lasted the first day, and then they didn't bring it back until yesterday.
Sorry, Ian, sorry to cut you off. Can we all just talk about it for a second? What on earth was that Master Ball page research? What was that about?
That was a limp-wristed attempt at trying to make it look special.
Mate, what was... Literally, I turned on the game, I caught one Pokemon, and I'd completed the first step. I went, was that it?
Stage 4 was catch a Pokemon, and then it opens up to stage 5. Yeah.
This is supposed to be the hype for the best ball of the game, and I had to battle in a gym 3 times.
When you think about it, the Shiny Jirachi, they made you catch 385 of Kanto, Johto, and Hoenn Pokemon all the time. It's like, catch a Pokemon and then do 3 gym battles. You can do it inside 10 minutes.
It literally took that, catch 25 Pokemon, was it 3 great
use
throws?
3 berries. It was very random. I didn't, sorry, to talk about research, I forgot, because obviously I've actually got my Master Ball. Going to flex that.
It is almost like they've run out of ideas. There's no way anyone can justify to me that this research was planned this way for the season.
Bro, Ian, it's literally like last week they thought, oh God, the Master Ball's being released and we've not done the last page yet. Quickly, can someone code it? That's genuinely what it feels like.
Seriously, it's like, the season ends in another 2 weeks. Let's just do something quick.
Absolutely.
What do we do in the game? We catch Pokemon. There are gyms to battle. Grunts at the moment, and excellent throws. Let's go. That's it.
You make me laugh. You say
3 of them.
you say we catch Pokemon, bro. I could not believe it. The research was catch a Pokemon.
That was stage 4. Literally, that was it.
I couldn't
wait
stop
2
laughing.
months for that.
No, now I've actually done something in the game here and I wanted to talk about
You've caught a Pokemon. Well done, GG's. They actually wrote that special research for you, Coops.
Turn on the game.
But that's been this season to a T. Okay, let's just be great white shot. It's been half-arsed. The events have been pretty lame. There's been some occasional good bits, but on the whole, it's been a very forgettable season, and one that, I don't know, I don't know if it tops Season of Alola for being bad, but it's certainly a good rival for how bad it's been. I'm just hoping, I mean, we're moving, I don't know what the next season's going to be called yet. It's not been released, but we're moving into the season of summer events, aren't we, like Mark said? So we've got...
Season of lowering expectations.
The season of it's got to be better than Rising Heroes.
Yes.
But without going on, I think we all share a similar view. So, Whitfield, what about you?
Yeah, I completely agree, boys. For me, this is definitely taking top spot of worst seasons so far for Pokemon Go.
I love how you put the "so far" in.
So far.
Yeah, so far.
Because that's what it's like. You sit here as a sort of skeptic and go, well, if they can do that, like, I can think of ways they could have made this worse.
I didn't think it could get any worse than Season of Alola, but as I say, I'm not saying this does top it, but it certainly rivals it.
The thing that got me, and I was thinking about it when having recorded last week's show, we discussed these hero events. And you look at what the 2 seasons were called. The season of Alola brought Alolan Pokemon, new Ray bosses, new shinies. Yes, it was a bit pap, really, but you got the new wave of legendaries in there. There was new content, new Pokemon, things to do. And then, it sort of petered off as the 3 months rolled on. This season was the season of Rising Heroes, and the 3 hero events, I know we discussed it last week, 3 mediocre costume Pokemon. And when you get to, I will never moan, I solemnly swear at this point, I will never moan.
1 hour and 7 minutes, I'm going to clip this for future reference.
I solemnly swear I will never moan about event spawns ever again. Because How can you have a Pokemon Go event when you don't have wild spawns as part of the event? That blew my mind. That actually blew me away. You think, how little effort can you put into constructing an event that the season is named after? And I've just been looking back through bits and pieces and events and things. There, as Ian says, there have been glimmers of hope. We had the Meltan sort of event, with some shiny Ditto potential boosts and things like that. But then scrolling through, then you go like, right, they botched the Spring into Spring, which is usually a good event. That became like massively egg focused.
The whole season was egg focused.
I know the whole season was egg focused. Then you had throwing it back to Pidgey Pandemonium. Jeez, that was pathetic. Clutching at straws. For me, the best event was Sustainability Week. Did get some good stuff in there, new shiny in the wild, and it was kind of like...
They even missed an opportunity of that. They didn't even put Trubbish as a wild spawn.
That was very weird. Very, very weird, actually. But then you go through... I mean, May has been absolutely atrocious. So weak with... the Larvesta release.
The raid bosses, I think, in general, have been terrible. Yeah. Absolutely terrible.
The rubbish version of the genies on Cloud floaty form. Lugia, we've had some of the Tapu's new shiny release, then we've got Regigigas, and then it's been a weird mishmash. That's what I mean. There's been no real correlation, raid bosses versus what the season's about, sort of thing.
Oh, not even that. There's been no correlation between wanting. This is the thing that I struggle with. Again, sorry to cut you now off, Marlo, but
all good.
It's kind of been the season for Niantic.
After 120 weeks.
It's kind of been shut up. It's
100 weeks in. 100 weeks in.
Okay. It's kind of been the season for Niantic of getting people outside. Let's face it. I find it really weird, but it's been probably the worst season of events and the worst season of raid bosses. It's just very weird. It's like nothing that they do correlates. It's like around Christmas time, before Christmas, after Christmas, the raid bosses were amazing. I remember the events being amazing. There was a lot going on. People wanted to play. It's so weird. It's like the 3 months where they wanted to get everyone out and playing. They wanted to get the community together. They wanted to do this. It's been the worst 3 months of Pokemon Go ever. And that just doesn't make any sense in my head. But I don't know. Maybe I'm looking into it too deeply. But
no, I think I agree. This season obviously had the whole remote raid nerf thing and all of that going on as well. With that there, you'd have thought, right, let's try and make these in-person event kind of things. And I agree with Mark. The Com Days have been very good fun. New shinies, very good Com Day classic.
The spawns for this Team Go Rocket event currently are actually decent. They are actually decent. They're not awful. They're not awful.
They're decent. And we'll get on to Shadow Raids later on in the show for sure. But if you're going to try and attract people outside to want to go and do quest hunting, maybe some in-person raids, some in-person events, should have done a bit more to really make these events pop. When you're chucking something out and saying, you've got a selection of research to go and get a costume Lapras, no event spawns, no nothing. It's so lackluster. And as Mark said, I mean, we do a podcast every week and you can easily forget that there's an event going on. That's quite alarming. I just hope they go up from here.
It's only way they can do is go up.
I can't really go much worse. But the other thing is this season and this whole stretch of Pokemon Go has been riddled and sort of sprinkled a lovely season topping of the worst selection of glitches and bugs in the game. There's a glitch at the moment that if you enter AR mode too many times, it can break the game and you can't interact with the game at all. GBL, there's invisible Pokemon and stuff. It just seems, and I've used this word somewhere before, very abandoned. This has all been maybe on the conveyor belt, chugging through, and they've not paid attention to what's going on at all, and it really feels it. And I really, really hope that the summer season usually pops off. Maybe that's it. Maybe it was genuinely deliberate to make it bad.
I'm confident to say that next season will be a banger.
Because it's weird. Each season of Alola was also March, April, May selection of months. Same story here. Bad selection of events and months for this season. Summer season hopefully will be good. But yeah, I cannot wait for the 31st of May to roll on round.
Couldn't agree more, Milo. This season cannot end quick enough for me as well. But there has been a glimmer, as we said, of hope in that, Shadow Raids are now a thing. And I think it's safe to say that probably at least 3/4 of us have done them. Coops, have you actually done a Shadow Raid yet? Did you do a Machop?
Well, have you opened the game?
How can I put this nicely? Give me a second.
Compose yourself.
Play the cricket.
Hello, Incensed podcast team. Good luck.
You just say play cricket, didn't you?
That's the wrong cricket.
I like that.
Okay, so To answer your question, let's just be straight up. No, I've not done a shadow raid, not even Machop. I did see one on my map and I had to walk down the road and I thought, nah, you're all right. A little bit like you guys, we're lucky, we're in the UK, so all of these events, all this sort of stuff happens way ahead of us before it happens for us. So we've sort of got between 8 and 12 hours on social media to really understand what's going to happen when we wake up in the morning. I think that's all fair to say. When I woke up, I saw that the IV floor, I was really looking forward to the 10-10-10 or the 12-12-12. I was really looking forward to it. And I saw that it was 6-6-6. And honestly, guys, I just couldn't be bothered, to be honest with you. When this first got announced, I thought, oh my God, I literally was like, holy moly, this is insane. 24 hours later, I was like, actually, this is not insane at all. Not one part of this is insane at all. Like I've said, and I mean this, I think the spawns for this event are decent. I think Houndour to grind XL candy, because I don't really feel like that's been a spawn for a while. Maybe I'm wrong.
Not really,
I apologise. No. Bayleaf Shadow in a raid does not, you can't even solo it. So, and I'm not going to use my thing. Yeah, look, like I said, I don't get it. It's a no from me. And again, I'm not being negative, boys. Please take it with a pinch of salt. I'm just saying how I feel. I'm just not sure. It's just not for me. I don't really understand the point. I'm not going to waste. And we've spoke about this literally probably 50 episodes ago. I know that it's a Shadow Beldum and Shadow Metagross is an insane, but I'm not going to do 40 quid's worth, 50 quid's worth of Beldum raids and go around my whole life in person in my spare time to like wait an hour for a raid to pop, and it's going to be it's not going to be a Beldum. Honestly, I really don't have time. I don't have time for this event. I don't have time for anything. And honestly, I'm sorry to be negative. I'm just being honest. So
honesty is the best policy.
Yeah,
definitely. And although the IVs are abysmal, they're better than getting it from grunt battles. So that's a small plus, but they're not a lot better.
Yeah, but the good thing is I get the balloons to my house, Ian.
We talked about the shadow raids last week, and we know a little bit more about them now, about the shadow shards and the purification gems and so forth. And I think it's fair to say I've done a few, and they're not bad. Some of the 3 stars are soloable, some of them aren't. I suppose it depends on your trainer level and what sort of teams you've got. I think it's a nice addition, but I don't think it's game-changing. That's my takeaway from it. It'll be interesting to see how the Mewtwo raids do at the weekend, because from my local guys here, there's a lot of, I would say it's 50-50. A lot of people are like, no, I'm over it. I'm not going to go and do them. I can't be bothered. I'm not going to start chasing these. And then all of the like, even a bad Shadow Mewtwo is better than a good normal Mewtwo. So it's kind of 50-50, and it's difficult. It is pretty much like in the balance there that some people are loving this feature and other people are just totally over it, which kind of like you, Coop. So it's a tricky one, but I'll be out this weekend and we'll be talking about the Mewtwo raids next week. But go on, Marky, you tell us about your experiences with them.
I think the first thing that's quite scary is that these Mewtwo's at the weekend could be a 666 as a base, which is actually quite soul-destroying. You are right, Ian, they are better, but I understand why they've done it, because people be purifying hundos.
Actually, that's a good point, isn't it? If they gave you a base 10-10-10 Shadow, that is,
it would be a 1 in 34.
OP. Yeah.
1 in 34 potential to get a purified hundo if it was 10-10-10.
So you absolutely get it. Got to make the odds as great as it would be normally. Disappointed how easy the 1-stars are.
The 1-stars take like 2 shots.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of hoping I was going to get to see the dynamic of it charging up its force field.
That's only on 3 and 5-star.
I almost contemplated, Ian, battling matchup with Weedles to see if that might do it. I thought, let's get the timer down to the last 20 seconds. That's going to infuriate the matchup, surely. I think with a lot of things in Pokemon Go, you lose interest quite quickly. It's what does this then become? I want to get my Shadow Regices one weekend. I want to get my Shadow Regirocks next weekend. I want to get my Shadow this, that. And it starts a whole new collection thing of Shadow Legendaries and Shadow Gen 5 starters and Shadow Gen 2
and it's
starters.
Like collection starting all over again, isn't it?
Let's get the real one. I've got 3 Shadow Mewtwo's already. Am I missing out on anything?
We've all done the rocket radar stack.
Yeah. Am I missing out on anything? No, I'm not. I've got a decent one. Does everyone? No, they don't. So it might be great. And if you've got a really vibrant community that will get enough people to do this, I hope the weather's brilliant and I hope you have a great time because it is fun. And that's all I'm going to say. It's fun when it's Mewtwo. It might be fun if Shadow Rayquaza comes out. We might get a little Twitch Coops. We might go, do you know what? I might come down and do that. I might come down and do that. Yeah, I don't want to be the person. It's easy for me to say it from somebody who's played the game sort of within the first couple of days of it coming out. But I am disappointed that I'm not going to be able to take part in it because it's Mewtwo, which is great. It'll be Shadow Rejoice in a few
It's not just going to end with Mewtwo.
time.
It's going to be like when EX raids, then Mewtwo was the first one of those, and just look where that went. These 5-star Shadow raids, they're going to be a permanent fixture. They are.
Well, there's a lot of Shadow legendaries to cycle on through, but I have to completely agree. You guys know the local community here in Ealing is very much based on raids, was grown through raids through 2017 and 18. And when it was discovered that it was going to be 666 base stats, there was a lot of colourful language going through the chats, shall we say, and a lot of people saying we've been trying to pre-organise people going out, possibly getting the cars out and polluting the planet, doing that sort of thing to hit as many raids as possible. And very rapidly, so many people in the community were just like, no, I cannot be bothered. It is not worth it. Not worth the time, not worth the investment, X, Y, Z. I completely agree and fully understand. And I had that same reaction of like 666 stats, considering the fact that we know with Pokemon Go things will rotate round again. You may just have to wait a year or two, but you will get a rotation again. Shadow Shiny Beldum will come back to one of the leaders eventually. Shadow Mewtwo will come back to Giovanni research. We know how that works. Are you really going to chase a 666 stat thingy? I know they're good, but it's that sort of thing of effort versus the payoff. And that was my feeling of it. It's like, I was really ready to grind
I'll
these Shadow
chase the
raids.
Beldum. I love the shiny Shadow Beldum.
The other thing, actually, and this was something I'd not experienced for a very long time because of maybe not doing as many in-person raids as before, but I went out Monday, event had started, Shadow raids were up and about already. Cool, I'll go around and chase the 1-stars. I'm not overly concerned about getting the mid-stage Gen 2 Shadow Pokemon. They're kind of pointless, really.
Well, they can't be shiny either, can they?
Can't be shiny. Sneasel, yeah, whatever. I gave one of them a go just to sort of see what it was like, really. Quite confusing. You plonk a purified gem on, and there's a small little graphic that's sort of like raining streaks that's supposedly showing that it's slowly lowering its attack, but you have to use a lot of purified gems to try and subdue.
And actually,
these
getting into that, the animation
Pokemon.
when it gets enraged, it's pretty cool with that little pinky purpley aura coming around it, almost like a shield.
Yeah, it's cool for like half a second.
Yeah, but
it's
small
it's
things.
sort of that thing. It's a bit. I was trying to put multiple purified gems on, and it kept like throwing them back at me and like saying, "No, you can't use that one there." Like, can I use it now? Nope, no, you can't use it now. It was a bit weird and confusing. But when you're sat around, and this is the thing with in-person raiding that I've found, is you sit around and wait for an egg to hatch. 1-star. It's got 2 Pokemon out of the 4 that I'd like to do, Machop and Beldum, and it hatched into a Poliwag. And like, I've waited an hour of my life for this to hatch, and it's the only 1-star. And I checked Campfire, the next 1-star Shadow Raid was 30-minute walk away.
That's RNG, baby.
I'm like, get stuffed. That for me, coupled with the 666 base stat thing, completely killed my interest for this whole Shadow Raid feature.
Yep. I actually quite like that. I like the anticipation, and then you get that. Oh no, but I always used to like that back in the day when you had multiple potential.
The thing is, back in the day, it maybe was okay because we didn't know any better. But nowadays, I'm sitting there going, life is too damn short, and there's many other things we could be doing. Personally, I was sitting there, I would really love a feature if you could go and it's a 1-star and then you go and choose which 1-star you do.
They had that in a Harry Potter game.
That would be brilliant. I know that then some people would chase Shadow Beldum or whatever, but you still got to wait and hope that the egg pops up. That might be a better way of doing it, but they probably won't change the format.
They won't.
This will spark a tiny bit of interest and it will die very quickly. If this is the quality of feature that they're hoping is going to bring all the incentivization back to the game, they've got a long way to go, genuinely. That's my personal opinion.
This is to give that energy to get people back out there raiding. This is this mechanic. Don't get me wrong, it's Mewtwo. We love Mewtwo, but my worry is it will go downhill very quickly after Mewtwo.
We know you're waiting for Shadow Regice, Mark.
Shadow Regigigas.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful. We can be pretty confident that after this event, shadow raids will be kind of like a rare cycle through, much like the rocket grunts. It'll be quite a rare takeover of the gym. So you've got even more scarcity of getting the shadow raid that you want to do.
It'll just be another type of raid, won't it? Let's face it.
All I can say is I hope Campfire rolls out to everybody ASAP.
There are still a lot of people that don't have access to it.
That's what I mean. It needs to roll out quickly, but we can be fairly confident that the Shadow 5-star raids are going to be raid weekend locked. Special event, possibly to end off a month or a season or something. That's not the worst thing. I just hope they get the spawn ratio right. I don't want to see Shadow Bayleaf everywhere on the weekend when it should be Shadow Mewtwo.
We will have found out yesterday.
Indeed. Fingers are very much crossed, and we'll wait for Shadow Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno to make their way through. Yeah. Kanto birds.
Can't wait.
However, we're going to have to dig a section out of the archive, boys, because some say that interns think that Photoshop is where you print images, and that Gumi is chewing gum. All we know is it is time to
ask the intern.
Boys, cast your eyes and have a visual feast on what I've just sent you.
Has this been removed, or is this still actually...
No, this was removed after about 5 minutes and then put up with a proper one. But we have to show, if you haven't seen this on social media, basically, Pokemon GO app tweeted some way into Monday the Rising Shadows infographic. And let's just say someone doesn't know how Photoshop layers work.
Oh my god! Seriously, what intern was let loose on this?
Let's have a look. So, what can you see on this? Let's give an idea. So, you've got the Rising Heroes with Shadow everything on it, but
there's just a random Ponyta.
Yeah,
over
I was
the
going to say,
cactus.
Can I say my favourite is definitely the Galarian Ponyta?
Yeah, absolutely.
The Galarian Ponyta that is on the top of Golbat.
There's a random shiny logo over the field research.
Bro, the shiny they're just everywhere. There's just shinies everywhere.
It's like the really rubbish 3-star Shadow Raid bosses. Oh no, that's right, isn't it?
That's just standard.
Oh, sorry.
And then there's a random Mega Pinsir over the 1-star Shadow Raids.
But the thing is, it's not over it. It's underneath the Shadow Beldum icon. So the layers are really fudged.
And boys, apparently, you can get an avatar pose, which if you're lucky, it could be shiny.
Yeah, that was my favourite. That was my favourite thing. Is if you're lucky, you might get a shiny one, and it's over the Avatar Rising Hero pose. We know now that they use some photographic editor app and they use layers. How do you publish that?
Let's be honest, that has not been proofed.
I think they looked at the
really?
We should have put a tweet out a minute ago.
The intern that published that without...
I just don't get it. First of all, I'm dying that apparently Hisui and Quillfish can now be shiny. But
That's true.
But like what? When I used to tweet a lot back in the day, I used to check every tweet 5-6 times. I used to check the photos 5-6 times to make sure I was posting the right thing and it all made sense. If I was working for a company like this that had, how many followers do Pokemon GO have on Twitter? It's like 3 point something million, right?
Pokemon GO app has 4.2 million followers.
Right. Surely that has got to be checked before you press post now or send now, whatever the button is. Surely that gets checked more than once, because I don't even think this has been checked once. Like, how are you posting that? I find it so, but like, how does that even get on the camera roll, on the upload settings? Like, how does this even get in to that? But you know, I don't understand it.
It's so bad. It's almost like it was done on purpose.
Yeah, like it was a bad joke.
Somebody was leaving the company and thought, haha, I'll teach them post. Seriously, it's not just one error. There's literally so many layers that have not been hidden.
And that's the thing, is it's not just layers that are on top of other layers. Like the Mega Pinsir is in between the background of this infographic and the Shadow Raid Pokemon as icons. So it's really properly fudged. It's not just like overlay, we missed some sparkles. Some are like embedded in between other layers. It's so crazy. We've got to round out the whole discussion of the season on this. This is not the first time blog posts, infographics.
Sorry, I've noticed more.
Noticed more.
So if you look, all the
it's
eyes,
endless.
all the eyes are missing. It says for the first time, Team E in Pokemon GO. They've missed out the eye. And then if you scroll down, it says
Oh, it
Task
does.
focused on defeat NG, Team Go Rocket. They've
It's
missed,
that layer with the eyes on the back layer almost, on the bits around the middle are missing the eyes, aren't they?
They've missed Active and Tom. God, it's really bad.
Oh, yeah, it does. It says
really
in Professor Willer's special research, you get a special GIF. Please, Niantic, please give us a special GIF. We'll use them for the episode posts.
Niantic, that's correct, Ian, apparently. They're releasing it alongside sticker books so you can collect GIFs.
Can we collect GIFs in Pokemon Go? That'd be great.
We actually do have some news. Hang on, I've got some news for you.
It is. It's the news.
Boys, you may already know this, but there is some news. You can now buy additional pages for your postcard book.
Oh, yes. 100 coins for 50 spaces.
Coops has got a GIF. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah. Does look like him.
It does. It is
Before we firmly give a two-fingered salute to the season of Rising Heroes, this isn't the first time that their blog posts and the infographics have had these mistakes on it. We've talked about it over the last 3 months. Seriously, a rocket up the proverbial, I think, is sort of needed.
Nice.
It still blows my mind, mate, honestly. But earlier we were talking about being sort of about 2 inches sort of away from like a car accident, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, funny we were all 2 inches away.
Yeah, we mentioned 2 inches a few times, didn't we?
Is it 2 inches?
Because I feel like right now I'm only 2 inches away from... Is that Mark's home? Oh.
No, you're not, Sunshine. Don't start telling people that. So, boys, the 2-inch poll was out tonight, and so the boys have shared their scariest almost moments involving transport. Which of these scares you the most? We'll start with the comments. The comments are where usually the fun bits are. So Lucy Davis has said, definitely the shot on a bus by a gun. Buses are my only form of transport at the moment, so that really scares me. Pen pal Simon. Oh, here we go. Pen pal Simon's in the house, everyone. Yeah. Guns don't kill people. Rappers do. There is something... Golly Lucky Chain reference in there. That's right. It was Golly Lucky Chain, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There is something terrifying about hurtling down the motorway in a metal cage with wheels attached to it. I voted for the motorway one. Love you all, you fantastic creatures, you. And he put all his eyes in his tweet, so he's got one up on the infographic people. Well done,
I will
Simon.
say, Pen Pal Simon's probably more scary to hurtle in a metal box with no wheels down the motorway.
Yeah. Con, so apparently you can put lots of words here. I like that. It cut half of that off, as you can imagine. Wow, you can tell American audience by us in this poll. Laugh out loud.
Pew, pew, pew.
Apex 171. I'm from South Central LA. I've got to say all those scary stories plus more. And then Sol, good to have Sol here again. Shot on a bus. Which one of the boys do you think that could be? Laughy face.
I don't think it's Coops.
They're going to be surprised.
to which Run CMC has put, why am I thinking at Coops the Casual? Inquisitive looking face.
Just wait, boys, just wait.
So we had 52 people on the 45-minute poll tonight, which is good.
Good stuff.
I like that. And we had 13 retweets as well. So thank you very much. So in 4th place with 12%, driving lesson close call. In 3rd place with 17% of the vote, hit a car on motorway.
Okay, yeah.
Nice.
In 2nd place with 25% of the vote, hit by a spinning car.
Nice.
So with 46% of the vote, shot on the bus by a gun.
Well, we knew that, didn't we? We knew that was going to win.
That's going to be a bit of a slam dunk.
It's a strange thing for me to be saying. It feels like the first time I've taken the dub on a poll and not one I want to be flipping winning, by the way.
Mark wins with his near-death experience. Interesting.
GG's, Mark.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for jumping on Mark's poll. You can put it away for another week. And we've got to dive onto our socials, boys, for...
Shinies of the week.
I've got one here from Mark Bailey at Lanlith, at Incensed Podcast, hashtag Shinies of the Week. Did you guys say that Spotlight Hour is full odds? ... My guy for Skorupi Spotlight Hour got 2 shiny Skorupi back to back. Swear down.
Back to back.
Back to back. Got a screenshot of his
Jeez.
like recent catches. Yeah, back to back shiny Scroopy for Spotlight Hour.
That is mad full odds luck right
Crazy.
A level 1 shiny Scroopy as well. Beautiful. Apex 171, lovely to have you on board. Came to Disneyland to celebrate my 7-year anniversary, and the one time I did turn on my game, I got this shiny. Hashtag LFG and hashtag Shiners the Week. Shiny Mawile in the wild. I like that.
Oh,
Yes.
nice catch.
Nice. So I've got one from WhatsApp. So Ketty Spice has been on. Hashtag Shiners a Week. Hashtag Community Today. This is all I need to make the 48 degrees C com day even better. Sweaty, laughy, smiley with a sort of wink. A Nundo Coops, the ginger fox.
Ooh.
Nundo ginger
nice.
fox.
Nando's of the week.
Nundo of the week.
GG's, man.
I'll round us out with one from Instagram. Bravo 1883. First Shadow Raid. Nice way to start my work week. Hashtag Shinies of the week. And it is the Shadow Shiny Sneasel from
Nice.
the 3-star raid, which the stats were 13, 7, 10. So that but hey,
Could be a lot
fantastic
worse.
Shadow
Yeah,
Shiny,
it's not too
mate.
bad.
It could very well be a lot worse, but absolutely awesome to have pulled in that Shadow Shiny. And thank you to everybody who has sent in ones that even if we didn't get a chance to read them on the show, we really do appreciate it. You can go through any of our socials at Incensed Podcast. They're all on a link tree, which is in the episode descriptions. The email, incensedpodcast@yahoo.com. Please utilize hashtag Shinies of the Week. You may be able to get read out on next week's show.
Nice.
But Milo, don't forget that if you want to send us a WhatsApp message, we do like voice messages from you on WhatsApp. You can send us those by adding this number to your phone and then sending us a voice message via WhatsApp to +44 759 269 5696.
Lovely stuff. It was actually nice we got one from WhatsApp this week for Shinies of the Week, but please do get sending those voice messages. We love to hear other voices other than our 4 own on this show. But that is going to have to do it for this week. So please do hit the follow or subscribe plus button, whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on. We greatly appreciate it if you could make sure we get downloaded to your podcast platform as soon as the new episode drops. And next week is going to be quite good because we're covering the next season. It's actually going to be quite important, so probably best to do that. And if you did enjoy, we'd love a 5-star review. You could write something on Spotify. Coops would be eternally grateful.
Correct.
Really help bump our ratings up. That would be absolutely smashing. And of course, we can't end an episode without saying a massive thank you to everybody who is a Patreon member of ours on the bronze and the silver tier. Thank you very much indeed. And a special thanks to the gold tier peeps who are the following: Hermes Ninja, JB, Clifford Mert, Darby Russ, Kerry and Zachary, Connolly, ML Folk 2022, Apex 171, Professor 58, K Technogal, and Mufti. Without all of you wonderful people, we wouldn't be able to make this podcast sound as good as it does and actually get an episode up every week. We still haven't missed one, boys.
We don't miss weeks, do we, Whitfield?
We don't miss, ever.
I do.
Actually, so did I a couple of weeks ago.
Communally, we don't miss.
Hey guys, good news.
What?
Tuesday, May the 30th, my favourite, Houndle has got its Spotlight Hour.
Nice.
And 2 times Catch Stardust.
Ooh. Well, on that bombshell, we shall hopefully see you next week with whatever the next season is going to be called. Ciao.
For now.
Bella.